Okay, so we have a review, which is going to be really quick, of the atomic theories, and we can't start that without saying what is an atom. An atom is the smallest particle of an element that retains the property of that element. And we can actually see atoms nowadays using a scanning tunneling microscope. And after once scientists were convinced that atoms existed, especially after John Dalton, they began to wonder about what it was like. So, one of the people that we know, oops, is J.J. Thomson. J.J. Thomson said that there was a stream of negatively charged atoms that flowed through a cathode ray, right? Which were smaller than an atom. And this was after his cathode ray experiment. It didn't matter what kind of material the metal plates had, we still always had the same negatively charged particles that were noted. And this actually created the plum pudding model. So that billiard ball model of John Dalton was rejected, and we now have the plum pudding model, which is where he basically said that there's some few negative particles in here, whereas the rest of the atom is just positive. Very interesting. However, something that you should note is that Mr. Thomson uh, discovered the electron, which is the first subatomic particle. So far, since, John Dalton, he believed that it was just a sphere. He didn't think there was anything inside of it. He called it indivisible, but it was not indivisible. We have an electron now. And this is all thanks to Thomson's cathode ray experiment. Now, Robert Millikan comes after, and he performed the now famous oil drop experiment that revealed the mass and charge of electrons. So he suspended tiny droplets between metal electrodes and measured the size of the droplets. And he was able to calculate the mass and the charge of the electrons through that, which is pretty cool. And the mass of an actual electron is basically going to be 1 over 1,840, the mass of a hydrogen atom. Then later came in Mr. Ernest Rutherford, and he was a student of Thomson's, who was also very curious about subatomic particles. He is considered the father of modern physics, since he contributed a great deal to understanding the structure of an atom. His gold foil experiment showed that atoms contained a dense central region. Most of the mass of an atom was located in this region, which he dubbed the nucleus. His words, not mine. So most of the mass is here. And so that was not the only thing. So now we have the electron, we have the nucleus, and in the nucleus, he noted it had a positive charge in there. So in his gold foil experiment, Rutherford directed a narrow beam of positively charged particles towards a thin piece of gold foil. The gold foil was coated in a screen that flashed when particles hit it. So every time in this little foil, I should use yellow. So in this foil, which is made out of gold, every time something hit it, I really am not good at drawing. Hold on. Ah. So we would have give me 1 second. I'm gonna stop drawing. Okay. So every time something would hit this gold foil thing, it would basically it would react by flashing. I hope you understand that. But so he predicted most of the particles would really pass right through this foil. He did say that a few would be deflected by the electrons in an atom of a gold foil, but that the path of these particles would not change much because they had much greater mass than the electrons. So he was partially right because some did go right through, some slightly deflected, but some of them went right back. And that baffled him. This whole because he basically said, okay, it's gonna go forward right through the foil. It might bounce somewhat off, because remember, in this time we still thought of J.J. Thomson's model. Okay, so we had not positive. We had negative charges here, and the rest was positive. So although they call it the plum pudding model, I really like to compare it to the cookie, the chocolate chip cookie. It makes more sense to me visually than a plum pudding because I don't even know what a plum pudding is. So a chocolate chip cookie, the chocolate chips are the electrons. The rest of the cookie is a positive charge, and that's what they all kind of thought it was going to look like. So he said, okay, I'm going to pass some alpha particles through here, and this positive charge is going to go uh, right through, and some, might bounce off as it hits the occasional very tiny electron. Um, but that did sort of happen. But the rest was the fact that it went right back. This meant that something bigger than the electron was actually blocking the path through the foil, which was a great discovery, really. I'm gonna erase this now, okay? Let me go back here. So Rutherford was really surprised by this, and I'm pretty sure the whole world was surprised by this because we all thought atoms were cookies. And so Rutherford really concluded that an atom's positive charge and its mass are concentrated in a very small area of the atom. Very small. He believed that the electrons occupied space around the nucleus. Remember, he's the one who called this. So he said that, okay, so the atom's positive charge and its mass are here in the nucleus. So in the nucleus, you'll find the positive charge of an atom and the mass, right? And then he also believed that the electrons occupy the space around the nucleus, but didn't really say much about the specific electron structure. He just, through his experiments, he was able to deduce that through evidence that electrons are around the nucleus. So you might think of it kind of like the planets and the sun. So just like planets orbit around the sun, electrons are orbiting around the nucleus. And this is a model that you may have seen more often recently than in the past, because this is one of the most recent atomic theories and the most understandable. It's pretty clear when you look at it. This model is called the nuclear model of the atom. Rutherford couldn't explain why the negative electrons weren't pulled in by the positively charged nucleus, by the way. He was able to estimate the size of the nucleus, which was about 10,000 times smaller than the radius of the entire atom. Basically, meaning that, okay, so the nucleus is where the mass is, but the size of the overall atom is all electrons. So the size of an atom is made up of the electrons. And you'll understand a little bit more about that in the future as we describe how electrons like to place each other, like orbitals and electrons, all about that. But for now, just understand the size of an atom is made up of the electrons. Electrons are pretty much spread out. There's a lot of space between the electrons. And the mass of an atom is in the nucleus, which we know now is basically the protons plus the neutrons.